if you're a real truth seeker, you're eventually going to be walking your own path at some point. And that doesn't mean that you should be disconnected from the world, obviously. Like there's an element of hubris to the idea that, yes, I walk my own path, like you should be humble always, but like you can also, take a little pride in the fact that, you've spent a lot of time thinking about this stuff in a way that most people don't. Most people don't take as critical of an eye to these things. And that's why I brought up the spirituality thing, because it's like every aspect of my life, like whether it's art or it's my friends and family or it's politics or whatever it is, I try to look at all the variables and pick a course forward, and it's easier said than done, because it really does mean that you might be alone in your thinking. And, if you're going to go that way with it, you need to accept that and just be comfortable knowing that I might be completely alone in this thinking. But, as long as you're being humble with it and making sure that you're exposing yourself to as much information as possible, like I do that on a regular basis. Like if I see something that is like this monolithic, zeitgeist type idea that everybody just accepts to be true, I'm the weirdo that will go and pick it apart just to see. And it's not that I think deconstructionalism is like a principle that I follow, but it's more of an approach, like I'm not going to deconstruct it because I think that deconstructing things in its own right is a virtue. Like sometimes things are right and wrong. Like I said, like I think maybe this is just right, and there's no reason to pick it apart and destroy it just for the sake of doing that, and that's very popular nowadays to do. Like you take any tradition or belief system or whatever, and you just deconstruct it for the sake of deconstructing it. And then what happens at the end of that? You just toss it in the waste bin and acknowledge that, oh yes, people are flawed and our belief systems are probably also flawed, and they are not flawed, but maybe incomplete or insignificant, whatever. So just approaching every every topic with a well-rounded, view, and being humble about it, I think you just have to find a balance. And I'm not necessarily I found that balance, but I try to.
Well, you touched on a lot there. And like, I don't believe in taking away something that's working for somebody else, essentially,
Yeah.
just because it doesn't work for me with the deconstruction.